Hey, Kerfuffle fans, welcome to our latest episode. Today, we have a gentleman by the name of Malcolm Teasdale that'll be with us. And Malcolm is an amazing guy. I mean, this guy's life story, I'll tell you what, he's done it and seen it all. And I just couldn't be so much more excited than to have somebody like him on the show. But before we get started with Malcolm, I wanted to thank our friends down in New Zealand. We ranked 22nd in podcasts in New Zealand last month. And we want to thank our Kiwi friends for all the attention to detail, all the listening to our podcast, and for your support from the bottom of our heart here at the production company, at the show, the Kerfuffle. We want to say thank you very much. And without further ado, Malcolm, welcome to the show.
Well, hello there. Great to be here. And it's great to see you've got a global reach, especially from the other side of the planet. It's wonderful.
Thank you. I know our New Zealand followers have really exploded, and we can't thank them enough. When I got that report, I was like, wow, New Zealand, I would have never thought. I didn't think we'd reach that globally, but hey, big thumbs up to the Kiwis.
Yeah, and if I'd known that, I would have worn my All Blacks rugby shirt today.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I love the All Blacks. They're great.
Wow, unbelievable. Yeah,
when they do the haka.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, I love that. Love that.
So, Malcolm, let's explore a little bit into you and this extraordinary life that you have. I mean, you've done so many great little things, but let's get a little background. Who is Malcolm Teasdale?
Me? Yeah. I don't know how brief you want me to be, but basically, I was born in Coventry, England. And that's my parents were World War II veterans and survivors of the Coventry Blitz, which Coventry was bombed more than any other city in England per capita. So yeah, I was born and raised there, grew up, got my first job, and then I decided to branch. I was a DJ in my younger years as well, but then I branched out, moved to Canada for 2 years, came back, company I worked for moved me back, then moved me over here to the United States back in 1985. And I've been here ever since, in the United States. So I go back to the old country at least once a year, so see my friends and relatives. But that's pretty much it. That's why I'm here today.
My wife and I went to London about a year and a half ago, and we went and toured all the historical sites in London, and we went outside. We went to like Canterbury and the Cliffs of Dover, and I'll tell you what, the United Kingdom is a beautiful country and so ripe with history. There's so much cool stuff going on there. And if you're listening to this and you've never been to the UK, I highly recommend a trip.
And for you as well, if you go a second time or another time, go into the countryside, the area called the Cotswolds.
Okay.
Partly medieval, but it's beautiful, just lovely countryside, and you can walk between the villages. And stay in one of the villages, it could be a pub, but it's just lovely, and that's my favorite part of the country. My sister still lives in that area today, so I'll be looking forward to going back there. So there's a lot to see. Sure.
Have you ever been to Edinburgh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, believe I'm born and raised in England. I never went to Scotland when I lived in England until I moved to America. Then I went to Scotland. If it sounds weird, but yes, I did several years ago. Because my father was born in Durham City, close to the border of Scotland. So went up to see family, then drove up to Edinburgh, spent a day or so there, then off to St Andrews to play the old course there, and then drove up further north, to Inverary and all good stuff. Yeah.
Well, they say Edinburgh is beautiful at Christmas time.
I would imagine it is. It's beautiful anyway, but just a walk up and down the Royal Mile there is very nice, actually. Lovely city, yeah.
But you are like a world traveler. You've been like to 80 some countries or something like that?
Counts 120 now.
120 countries. Wow. That's amazing. That's like what are some of the most interesting countries that you've ever been to?
There's so many, actually. Yeah, I've been to that many. However, I may add to that, because I do public speaking gigs on cruise ships, that, I've been to these places, but I didn't stay overnight. So if you discount that, I've probably been to 100, whether for work or pleasure. But yeah, I mean, I've got so many memories of places I've been to. It's hard to believe. But luckily, I write about it so I can remember in my old age. I keep scrapbooks and I keep photographs and videos. So, but I love Asia. I lived in Singapore for 2 years and loved that area of the world, steeped in history and great culture. And recently, I'll tell you about the recent one. I was doing some lecturing on a cruise ship that went up in the Norwegian fjords, which is a beautiful area. Just love to see how people live up there. And then when I got off the ship in Stockholm, I decided to travel to the northernmost human settlement in the world.
Oh, really?
And you're probably thinking, well, where is that? Well, it's a place called Longyearbyen in the island of Svalbard. It's well in the Arctic Circle. In this area, Longyearbyen, about 2,000 people live there. It's well in the Arctic. So when I went there, there was snow on the ground, yeah, but unbelievable scenery. 2,000 people, 3,500 polar bears. So there's certain rules and regulations there, but it's a fantastic place. I'd love to go back there and spend more time. I only spent 3 days there, but it was just fantastic to see how people live there. Lovely.
So you obviously didn't go there on a cruise ship. You went there on your own,
Yeah.
right?
Occasionally, a cruise ship does go up into that region, but it's rare. But I was in that region, so I just wanted to take the time to fly up there. It's about a 3-hour flight from Oslo up to Svalbard, and then I just stayed in a hotel there, and got unbelievable scenery. And I could talk 45 minutes just about that place, but it's lovely. I mean, these are the special places, a sense of adventure, and the ability to. It's educational for me because you get to know or learn how people live in different parts of the world, which actually in turn gives you respect and an element of acceptance. This is the way they want to be, and it's a beautiful area of the world, even though it's a bit chilly, obviously, but it is, it's all right.
So how many continents have you been to then? Have you been to every continent?
Um, yes, well, except Antarctica, yeah. So I'll get that done. That's not my, I don't have to go there, but it may be on a cruise ship though, where it does go down there. But yeah, I've been to visited every continent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So where did the bug for travel come from? This is interesting because I've never met anybody that's been to this many countries in my entire life.
Well, I probably need counseling, but no, it's just it's no. I used to have I created a startup, technology startup with another guy, and we grew substantially. But we decided to expand in North America. But after we did that, we decided to expand overseas, and so I did a lot. I'm an engineer by trade, but I had to become the salesy type guy. So I did a lot of traveling internationally, so we could expand our business overseas. And that worked out quite well. And so I traveled to all the continents. That's one of the reasons I moved to Asia for 2 years, just to expand that region. But yeah, so ultimately we basically became a target for acquisition, and that's what happened. So 2013, I retired early, but then it was my decision after I got bored, stupid at home, sitting down doing nothing. I got to get out. So my idea was, well, after going to all the businessy type places, I thought I'd start doing more adventure travel while I can, and that's what I've been doing for the last several years, and I still doing it because I'm a travel addict. That's the name of my podcast, but the Travel Addict, and that's what I keep doing today.
So when you say adventure stuff, are you going like on safaris? Are you going down like the Nile River on a boat or anything cool like that?
Let me give you a couple of examples of what I class as adventure. I trekked the Himalayas.
Wow.
I camped out in the Mongolian wilderness, which is unbelievable, and even spent a day with a nomadic family there. Recent years, I went into the world's oldest desert, stayed there in a lodge. That's Namibia. Unbelievable sunsets. I do scuba diving, so I dived in the most biodiverse marine parks in the world, Raja Ampat and Sivadan and Palau. So I've done that. So there's a few examples. I mean, a few years before I did went to Zambia, walked around the Victoria Falls, and I'm still doing it today. There's always a place. This bucket list, overused term, I know, but I keep adding stuff to it. I'm supposed to be taking stuff off the list, but I keep thinking of places I want to go to. But those are the more expensive stuff. One thing I did beginning of 2024 for the second time, I climbed up to Tiger's Nest Monastery in Bhutan.
Ooh, okay.
And it's about 10,500 feet up on a rock face. So I climbed that. So I got myself in shape for it. But at my age, I thought, I got to try this. And I made it. But Bhutan is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. You know, it's spiritual, but it's just scenery is unbelievable, nested in the Himalayan mountains. So anyway, that's it. It's probably
What was that like though? Climbing up there though, that had to be really physically demanding. I mean,
No, well, it's steep slopes. You can actually, it's not climb up like vertically. No, it's a trek, but it's about 3.5 to 4 hour trek up steep slopes with drop offs on one side. So you've got to be careful. But it's probably one of the most spiritual places I've ever been to. The monastery there, Taxtan Monastery, and monks still live there today. But it's quite something when you go in this place. It's this aura of wow, look at this place. But yeah. But the whole country itself is just beautiful scenery, and one of the happiest places on the planet as well. So,
I'll tell you what. One of my big dreams, and I tell my wife this all the time, is I want to go to Iwo Jima, and it's a little island off the coast of Japan. But the reason I want to go there is because my grandfather was there during the Second World War, and he fought there, and wanted to go. Now he's long since passed away. He's been gone for over almost 40 years now. And always wanted to go there and get a canister of the sand, the volcanic sand,
yeah,
the black volcanic sand, and bring it back. But the price on those type of trips is that's not a cheap trip, because that's not like you have to land at a military base and it's guided, because there's still live ordnance on the island and stuff like that. But that's like probably one of, when I talk about my top 4 trips that I want to go to, that's number 1 of the top 4.
Yeah, I understand that. It's going to see, you know, where your family spent time, and yeah, I get that. Of course, you could go to Mount Fuji while you're in that area as well. But you know, well, don't leave it too late. And that's my theory about stuff. I don't want it when I'm lying on my deathbed. I don't want to have any regrets in my life. Damn it, why didn't I go there or whatever? You know, so I just do it while I can, until one day the doctor says to me, Malcolm, you can't travel anymore for whatever reason it may be, but you know, I'm still doing it while I can, basically.
So you've been to so many countries. In the beginning of the show, we talked about our fans from New Zealand. Have you been to New Zealand?
Funny enough, no.
Wow. Okay.
No, I have not been down there. I've been close to. I've been to Australia 3 times, but I've been to Fiji, Cook Islands, Tahiti, and around the area, but I've never actually been there. And I'd love to have a chance to go to Auckland or whatever. I'd love to do that, but no, I've never been to New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd, so I really want to go there and take the tours of where they shot the movies, and my wife has a friend that used to live in the United States that came up to the United States for some sort of a railroad contract years ago, but was from New Zealand and moved back there, and they've offered us to stay at their place and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that one-day trip to New Zealand. It just looks so breathtaking. I when I see things like that, it's almost like God's tapestry. It gets rid of all the bad things in the world, and you see what really is.
Exactly. Yeah, if you trek Milford Track, and it's where they filmed Lord of the Rings, and yeah, spectacular scenery. So I think one day I will make it there, but there's other stuff on my list as well. So, but anyway, it's you know, it's there. You know.
So you've been to Australia. Is it true what they say about Australia? Everything there is trying to kill you. Is
what?
Is trying to kill you?
Oh, you mean the wildlife?
The wildlife, yeah.
Yeah, I bump into some Aussies every now and again, and I've had a couple of Australians on my podcast. I say, you come from the land down under where women glow and men plunder. Do you remember that song? And
yep.
Yeah, and but yeah, I like the Aussies, and I was fortunate to be able to go there, and I went to the Aussies play soccer against Fiji one day, and you obviously watch them play cricket. But it's a lovely place, especially Sydney and Brisbane. I haven't been over to the west side of that country, but maybe one day.
Yeah, Australia. I've never met an Aussie I didn't like. They're some of the most upbeat, nice people I've ever met in my entire life. They just, I don't know, the ones that I've met have just been so energetic and just kind-hearted people.
Yeah, they are with that sense of humor. Obviously, because I'm a Brit, I go to Australia. There's that sort of friendly rivalry. And when I went there one time at Sydney Airport, I was wearing my England rugby shirt, and the customs officer called me over. He said, "You got a nerve wearing that vest around here, mate." And he was just joking with me. I stopped to talk with him for a while, but anyway, it's just I like the sense of humor. Yeah.
So you've been to Fiji. What was that like?
Great. Basically, I went to the Jean Michel Cousteau resort there on Vanuatu, and but it was a beret, an old Fijian hut we stayed in, and I did diving there. But it's just mixing with the culture, and it's lovely. Yeah, it's great.
It's like my mom's dream is to go to Fiji one day. So we'll see if we get her there before she goes to that place in the sky.
Right, don't leave it too late. Well, there's direct flights. I was supposed to go there. Myself and my wife were supposed to go there in January, but we had to back out. Air France has a direct flight down there from Los Angeles to Fiji, and Fiji Airways fly to I think it's Dallas or Houston now. So there's direct flights down there.
Oh.
It's a lengthy flight, but just take a nap on the plane.
So you've gotten involved with I'm going to shift gears a little bit. You've gotten involved with the cruise line, and you do a lot of speaking and stuff with the cruise line. And the cruise line industry is an interesting industry. I've had tons of people that have worked on the cruise line industry on this show, and I learned a lot about cruising that I never knew. But what exactly, when you say you work with the cruise line, do you do?
I do the speaking enrichment talks. In fact, I used to speak a lot at trade shows when I had my business in different places around the world, just about technology that was around at the time. And after I sold the business, I got a call one day, and the person, I can't remember who it was, they said, "Hey, Malcolm, you ever done any public speaking on the cruise ships?" I said, "Well, I've never been on a cruise ship." And that's true. So they asked me to give it a go. And that was back in 2015, I think. I did my first. And I do it periodically now as well. It's just all the different cruise lines. I'm on one this month, actually. I'm leave town next Friday, going to the Caribbean for a couple of days, and go down to Barbados and get on a cruise ship. And I'm talking on that. I've only got 3 talks to make before it comes back to Fort Lauderdale. So that's what I mean. I talk about destinations, adventure travel, foreign cultures, whatever they want. So that's what I've been doing, and it's great because I never thought I'd go on a cruise, but I have a newfound respect why people do that, because it's quite relaxing. Even though I'm talking, I find it very relaxing, and you get to see some places, although maybe not always overnight, but it's relaxing, and it does get you to certain areas of the world if you want, and you get off the ship and do stuff, or after the cruise is finished, you can stay a while. It's got lots of options. So I've learned to have, a lot more respect for why people do now go on cruises. Yeah.
So now you've cruised all different types of cruise lines all around the world, right? Or is it just one cruise line you work with?
No, it's different cruise lines. I've been on about 7 or 8 different ones. So yeah. It depends. Some cruise lines only, so it's some areas of the world they don't go to, and others they do. So it's different. So, but anyway, yeah. Whenever I may get an opportunity, or luckily that I get a visibility on cruises they've got coming up, and if I'm interested to apply to speak on them, then I may do that. Yeah.
So as far as like the most interesting cruise story, everybody's got a story. What's the most interesting thing that's happened to you on a cruise ship?
That's a good question. Probably earlier on this year there's one of the luxury versions. I did a transatlantic from Miami over to Lisbon. So obviously I did a lot of talks on route because a lot of sea days. I stopped at the Azores and finally got to Lisbon. And they said, Malcolm, can you just stay on for another 2 weeks to do a trans-Mediterranean? I said, okay. So I was on a cruise ship for over a month, like transatlantic and trans-Mediterranean for the whole thing. Eventually got off in Athens, Greece, then flew back home. So that was interesting because they asked me to stay. They did about 10 or 11 talks total. So yes, I almost lost my voice, but I survived it. But it was interesting, that was, and these ships weren't overcrowded, but they were just nice, and I found it relaxing and got to see some of the Mediterranean islands that I'd never expected to see, like Malta and Sicily and some of the Greek islands there. So in a way, it was lovely, long, but I never expected that to be having a transatlantic and a trans-Mediterranean on the same ship at the same time. But anyway, but I've been on the ships. I've had no issues where the ships like hit bad waves, turned over, or done something stupid. No, it seems to be safe. Sometimes rocky a bit, but it's all right.
And these are all different size cruise ships too. Like some of them are the bigger ones that have thousands of people, and some are smaller. Or do you mainly do like the larger size cruise ships?
Well, I did sail a transatlantic once from Southampton over to Orlando, I think. There's Norwegian. There's a 5,000 passengers on board.
Wow.
And it was like, the ship is huge. It's like a floating apartment complex going across the ocean. And I thought, to me, it's too crowded, if you know what I mean. So I prefer the boutique lines. But it depends. It depends on a couple of things: where it's going, if there's any overnight stops, because there is. I'll get off the ship for the night, and the places where it's embarks and disembarks, and need a bit to. Depends what cruise lines it is as well. So yeah, it depends on a few things. Or if I thought, well, I'm not doing anything for this month of the year or that month, maybe I'll just do this, hop on a ship for a few weeks, So it depends,
Yeah. So how many cruises a year do you do?
About 3 or 4.
Okay. So not a lot, but
no, because it drags on. Like the one earlier on this year was over a month. Then I went on the one in the Nordics, and that was 2 cruises back to back, because typically when you talk on ship, they want you to do back-to-back cruises. So that lasted at least a month. So I've got this one coming up, one in March, and some others pending for the next year, like lengthy ones, which could take me to Africa and Asia again. I don't know. I just have to see and see what happens. But yeah.
Do they have you stay with the crew itself, or do you have like a regular room like the guests when you're on the?
It depends. It depends on the ship. All cruise lines aren't made the same. Guests come first, obviously. I've stayed in the crew area before, which was a nice room, and I've stayed in the passenger area. It depends. Depends what ship and what they've got available or what they can offer. Probably to entice me to go and talk, I guess. But yeah, anyway, it varies, So it's all good.
Well, the people on the cruise ships are some of the hardest working people. You see people on cruise ship, they work so hard.
Yeah, I tell you, when I go on a cruise ship talk, usually I report to the cruise director, and he or she will have an assistant, but they work extremely hard because they're on the go all the time, and they're entertaining people as well, and they're managing things out. But the people do work on a cruise ship for several months of the year, and they might get a couple of months off. It's different per cruise line, but there's people on cruise ships working from all different places in the world. I think it's great the cruise lines do that, bring people on, and great cultural thing because everyone just gets along on the ship typically in most cases. Yeah, that's good.
I remember eating in the cafeteria on a cruise ship, and I saw this guy, and I think it was from Poland. And while his staff was working, I think he was a manager, some sort of a manager. He's out there helping clean up plates and tables and wiping stuff down. And I said, if I ever had a business, that'd be a guy I would hire. That guy
There
is
you
out
go.
here busting. Because he's not only asking his employees or his staff to do things, he's doing it right with them, which shows that he's not above getting his hands dirty. And I had a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah, I volunteered for a couple of as a tour escort on some of the tours on recently. So I go out with the people who want the short excursion, or they just tag along there and talk, answer questions, whatever. So yeah, in a way, it's neat. I mean, yeah, get to do that as well. But it depends, Yeah.
So where do we see you going in the future? Where's your next trip planned to go?
Well, I've got this one coming up, and if funny enough, it's going to one of the Caribbean islands I've never been to before. I've been to practically all the Caribbean islands except Haiti and Cuba, but there's one island I haven't been to, and this cruise ship is stopping there, Montserrat. Remember that place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it got damaged badly in hurricanes and the volcano eruptions, and it's the only nation in the world where the capital city of a country has zero population. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's in an exclusion zone now because of the liability or the potential of volcano. But we're going to go there, and then I've got that. That's only a week, and then in March another Caribbean one coming up with Cunard, and then we'll see what's few pending. But I'll be going back to Britain in February, see family and friends, and so that'd be about 3 weeks there. Then March the cruise ship. April maybe on one in Asia. I don't know. So it changes. Things happen, but yeah, pretty much. I could be on the road for potentially a third of the year. Yeah.
Wow. So if you had to rank them, your top 5 countries to visit, the top 5 that you had the best experience, what would those countries be?
You're probably going to, I don't know. My favorite countries, Thailand is probably their number one because it's so culturally rich. You've got the jungles, you've got the beaches. And one of the adventure things I did last year was I went to the very northern Thailand and went to visit the mountain tribes, see how they live there and mingled with those people. That's fabulous in Chiang Rai. But I love Thailand. And where else? I like Namibia as well, basically because I like being close to nature. And one of the great places I saw before all of its troubles, I was in Kiev in the Ukraine at the end of 2021. So right before I'm nothing to do with what's going on there now, but I just happened to go to Kiev, a fantastic city, great people, and lots of historical buildings there. So that was a lovely place. Another country that's probably people don't think of, Slovenia was a lovely country. Yeah, lovely country. And I like the Scandinavian countries as well. So I like Norway now because of the scenery there and basically how people enjoy living in the middle of nowhere, close to nature. So those are just a couple of the places. But I love Hong Kong as well, the most vibrant place on the planet. And had I lived in Singapore, I love that place as well. Crime-free, most religious, diverse country in the world, and it's virtually crime-free. So
Wow.
it's obviously it's quite expensive there now, but anyway, it's a lovely place. You just feel safe walking around. But those countries I like,
I remember Singapore was in the news. Was it back in the 90s that kid got caught like spray painting stuff and he got caned or something like that?
Yeah. You don't want to break the law or carry drugs in there illegally because you'll get the death penalty, which rightfully so. I mean, that's their laws. Obey it by the laws of that country. So based on that, I mean, the country, you feel safe there. It's virtually crime-free. And, and there's all these different people there from different countries visiting or living there, like Malaysia to the extent, which is just a bit north, and everyone sort of gets along, So
Yeah.
that's the way it should be.
Now you've gone diving. You said it's some of the most interesting places. What's like where have you gone diving? You going to the Great Barrier Reef or any place like that? Or
No, the Great Barrier Reef has been looked on as is probably people may complain at me saying this, but it's because the ocean's warming up a degree or two. Is the coral reef has been affected? That's why I'm understanding. I've seen videos of this, but no, the apart from Palau in Micronesia, where there's a dive site called Blue Corner, where you can be surrounded by sharks, which is a famous dive site, and the coral is pristine there. And Sibadan, which is a sunken volcano and large schools of fish. The best site was where I was at like 2 years ago, Raja Ampat in Indonesia. It's the most biodiverse place on the planet, that area. And the country do a great job in protecting it. So you got permits to go there. But I tell you, it's got so many species of marine life there and different versions of coral. It's fabulous. Now, the marine life, I saw marine life down there I've never seen anywhere else in the world. It's some strange stuff down there, like wobbegong sharks. Totally, it's a shark, but you've never seen anything like it before. And different sea animals just floating around there. It's amazing. So I went there to Papua Explorers, I think, yeah, and we went out diving 3 times a day for a week, and I tell you, unbelievable. And people live sort of close by in that area. They're born and raised there, still live there today, and they got schools there. And they came into our resort and just entertained us by local dancing one night, after a day of scuba diving. So you see how the people live there, and you understand why, because they want to live there, and they're happy there. It's like me meeting people, families up in the Himalayan mountains in Nepal, and people live there. The kids go to school in school uniform, even that high up, and people live there because they want to, and it's clear. So it's all great. But scuba diving, yeah, Raja Ampat is the best place I've dived in my life.
wow.
A lot of places.
You ever been wreck diving?
I'm sorry?
Wreck diving? You ever been wreck diving?
Yes, I have. Been to a couple, one in Tortola, which I'll do this time because the ships I'm on, this stops in Tortola, so I may do one there. So yeah, the RMS Rhone that got shipwrecked off the shore of Tortola, Royal Mailing ship, because the captain didn't know what a hurricane was back then, so he tried to steer through it and got washed up on the reef, and it sunk. So it's a dive site there now. There's one in Aruba, there's one in Bonaire and Curacao. They're all over basically, and in Bermuda, of course, which is the shipwreck capital of the world. So yeah, I've done the wreck dives. Yeah.
So there's many different levels of diver. Are you like a master diver and like the highest level you can go, or?
The master diver is typically if I was out there wanting to teach scuba diving, I'm not going to do that. I could, but no, I'm just an advanced open water dive, nitrox certified and National Geographic certified. So I'm able to talk. I've been diving for years. So actually one of my talks is about scuba diving, telling people how to get certified and what you can gain from that. So yeah, I feel safe doing it. And so, hey, it's one of my favorite things to do, see life down below. It's different.
Right. So what's the steps of becoming like where you're at now? Like if I'm a novice and I'm interested in scuba diving, I know quite a few people that are actually interested in it. What would be the steps to get? Is it so many hours that you have to spend? Is it so much training that you have to do? How does that work?
Yeah, based on it's different now than it used to be. You can learn about scuba diving and get certified online. You can do it in classroom, you get certified online, but that's not the end of it, because you've got to have like go to an area where you can do the basic underwater skills. It could be a swimming pool somewhere, a dive center. So depending on where you live, I was living in Atlanta at the time. I did my classroom stuff in Atlanta, but I did my open water certification in the Turks and Caicos Islands, which means you've got to do that to complete it. You've got to go in the open water with an instructor and finish off your diving certificate. Then you've got what we call, use PADI, by the way, because that is respected worldwide. So PADI open water certificate, get that, and you can basically go anywhere in the world, right?
Right.
And there's advancements you can take. There's different types of courses, rescue courses, boat diving, but they're all, once you've got PADI open water, you get the advanced one, which teaches you more about navigation underwater, and you go from there. And nitrox, if you want to use nitrox instead of regular air, nitrox is about 32% oxygen, so it enables you to stay underwater longer. It doesn't mean you can go deeper at all. No, it just stays underwater longer. So there's different things, but yeah, it's. I'm glad I did that all those years ago, and I'm still doing it now. Not every day. I can't do it where I am right now, but if I'm in a place where I could dive, I may well just go out for a day or so diving. Yeah.
So what's the furthest you ever been down?
130 feet.
130 feet.
Yeah, the reason that was in the Philippines, in a place called Boracay, and it was. There's rules and regulations about going down that deep. There's a shark habitat down that the dive company wanted to see. So we went down and only stayed down there for about 10 minutes. And then on the way up, we had to stop at 40 feet, stop at 15 feet to get the, decompress. So that's it. So it's a short dive, relatively speaking, but the deeper you go, the more air you use quickly. So, yeah. It doesn't mean the deeper you go, the better things are. No, you could go to dive sites where 15, 20 feet, there's beauty. In fact, in one place in the Philippines, Cebu Island, I went diving at 20 feet, went swimming with whale sharks at 20 feet below. This is 36 feet. Gentle giants they are. And they live in this area. So I went diving with the whale sharks. Fantastic. That was, yeah. So that was a good thing to do. Yeah.
And the Philippines is such a beautiful country too. There's
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, like I see pictures. One day I'd love to go to the Philippines. I see pictures and it's just the water is breathtaking. The landscape is breathtaking. The people are very nice. It's exactly. It seems like a great country to visit.
Yeah, and you know what? It's got a couple of things that, like the islands of Palawan is beautiful, and there's other islands. Palawan is famous because of the north and the south area, which I've been to. Manila is the most congested area in the world. It's over 100,000 people per square mile, right?
Wow.
In that area of Manila. So when I sometimes go over there, I stop at Manila before going somewhere else. But I stay in Makati. It's an area outside of Manila, but it's a business district and it's quite modern. And but I like the place actually. Yeah, because people are very nice, hospitable there. And, have you ever been somewhere where there's been a live band playing? It could be on a cruise ship or somewhere. All the band are from Philippines.
No, I've never experienced that.
Yeah. Philippines are probably the most underrated musicians in the world. The band on the ship I've just been on a few weeks ago were from the Philippines. They are the most underrated, but they're brilliant musicians. I remember going to a bar in Makati last time I was there, and there was a Filipino band playing Dire Straits songs, and they had note perfect. It was brilliant. They are they're first class musicians. These guys are. Yeah.
Wow. And the
that's
food?
Why they're used on cruise ships a lot and other areas. Yeah.
And what's the food like there?
It's all right. You get anything you want. I mean, as I say to people, wherever you are in the world, this is what I do. I say British or Irish pubs near me, right? I type that on my phone, and it always comes up with a British or Irish pub. I think, okay, I'll go there. When I say near me, near the location I was at the time, wherever you go in the world, there's always a British and Irish pub. So I get that if I want, but I like the local cuisine. The only place I've been to where there wasn't I think a British or Irish pub, when I understand that, is in Lhasa, Tibet. So, but that's a wonderful place as well. But the people, it's like going back in time there. But anyway, it's but yeah, I'll always find a pub to go to, or I delve into the local food, whatever. Thailand's fine, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. So who has the best local cuisine that you've had?
I would say I'm a big fan of Indian food, by the way.
Okay.
It's like Brits. Brits will tell you that British food is generally bland, so a lot of Brits moved over and love Indian food. That's why there's so many Indian restaurants in Britain. So I grew up with that. So if I'm overseas, I'll always look for an Indian restaurant. And so I've had an Indian meal in India, great, but I love Thai food as well. So yeah, and steaks in Argentina, excellent, but they're massive. Anyway, but yeah, you've got to delve into the local food. Yeah, it's always good to do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had
we
some
were.
weird stuff as well. I've you can go to these lands and they're cooking like crocodile or scorpions and whatever, but it's all right. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Italy, and no offense to my American Italian friends. I love you. I have tons of you, but American Italian food and real food from Italy that is Italian from there are totally different. And I was blown away at the absolute amazing fresh taste at a lot of the food in Italy
Yeah.
that was because over here we have pre-processed, we use pre-processed noodles. Over there they're hand making their pasta, and the sauce is different, and the vegetables just taste, I don't know, it was just a little bit different for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So the local cuisine, I agree with you 100%. You gotta grab that local cuisine.
Exactly. And as I say to people, if you're not sure, just add some hot sauce to it. Spice it up a bit.
So, Malcolm, if people wanted to follow you on your adventures around the world, what are some of your social media websites or hangouts that they can find you on?
I would suggest, well, I've got a couple of Facebook accounts, but it's, and Instagram, English guy on Instagram without the I, ENGLSHGUI. And then I'm on Facebook, but check out, I just created a new Facebook page, or a company did it for me, called Author Malcolm Teasdale on Facebook. And that's a new website I've got right now, because I've written 7 travel books, and it's all about past experiences and bucket list stuff. And so a company offered to do a website just about my book. So authormalcolmteasdale.com, and you'll see that you can buy books online from that actual website. So not that, but yeah, just malcolmteasdale.com. I know you've got on the screen malcolmjteasdale.com, and that was what I first had, and it's just malcolmteasdale.com now. So and that will look at me, summary of places I've been to, and I don't know if it's up to date, but and also books I've written, and me doing talks on ships and stuff like that. So mixture of stuff, and LinkedIn, yeah.
So for our fans out there, Malcolm, what is, as a guy that's done it all, you've owned a business, you've sold a business, you're an accomplished author, a diver, a world traveler, you've been on, cruise ships galore, you've seen the world, you've lived a life, you've moved from one country to another. I mean, you've done more than 5 people would do in their lifetime. What is one bit of feedback or advice you would give to our listeners out there based off of your life on what to do?
I would say, if you've got any desire to do anything, it doesn't actually have to be traveling, but I would always advise that if you've got anything you want to do, then do it before it's too late and don't have any regrets in your life. The more I travel, the more I want to, because for me, it's educational. And I've learned so much about how the rest of the world lives and works, and how people behave, mannerisms. And They're normal human beings like us, basically. And when people say, I've had so many people say to me, well, where you go now, Malcolm, I tell them, well, why do you want to go there? Isn't that a third world country? Isn't that blah, blah, blah? No, it's not at all. It's because people need to get out more and learn how the rest of the world lives and works and behaves. No, I find it all very educational. That's why I want to keep on doing it, because I want to learn more. Traveling has surprised the hell out of me of what I've learned along the way. That's why I want to keep doing it. To actually pass that message on. If I'm talking on the ship, I say, if you decide you want to go to some adventure travel, let me put some ideas into your head right here, and I'll tell you how to get there. All these things, and it piques people's interest and puts in the mood that they want to sort of get out of town more. And that's basically it. I still want to do that. I'm doing it while I can. So that's the main thing.
So if you guys are out there listening, look up Malcolm, follow his adventures, go buy his books, go to his website, see if you can pick up his books, follow his adventures, check out his pictures. If you get a chance to speak, or if you have heard Malcolm speak, you've been on a cruise ship or something like that, leave a comment below and do a big shout out to him. Or if you've seen him on one of the adventures or something, or you do follow a message again, leave a comment below, and we'd love to hear from you. And Malcolm, it's been great having you on the show today.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me on. I always love to talk about travel, and the story continues. That's right.
So if you guys like what you saw, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell below. We're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're also on iHeart, and we are on Apple iTunes podcasts. You can follow us on Rumble. We're on YouTube, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're all over the place. So if you guys like it, make sure to follow, give a big thumbs up. And again, thank you to our Kiwi friends down under for your big support. And on behalf of Malcolm Teasdale and the Kerfuffle podcast, have fun storming the castle.
All right. Cheerio, everybody. Bye-bye.